Well, hello and welcome back to yet another incredible video. And today we are doing episode 2 in our Table Tuesday series. And I really love this table. It allowed me to kind of experiment and play around with a couple of different concepts. And I really love the way that this turns out. So let's jump into it so that we can hear what your thoughts are on this table. So the items I used for this table is I bought a pack of those, it's like a 3-pack of wood rounds from Hobby Lobby, and I did get this 40% off because it was on sale. And then I'm also, and you'll see this later, going to be utilizing some of those paint stir sticks, and just that in a dream. That's what we're using today. So we're going to need to find the center of our circle. This is important for the step where we go to start to make our other circles, and also it is important when we begin to add our legs. So I just go ahead and mark off that space, and then also just mark off 4 sections, if that makes sense, and you'll see this happening. Okay, so here comes the fun part. And in case you guys didn't know, I largely make videos just to impress my father. He's a retired engineer, and this little part that's coming up next is specifically for him. I basically made my own compass for all intents purposes, which is going to allow me to gouge a circle into the top of my wood. And I'm going to be gouging 3 different circles, and they are 2 inches apart. So let's watch how this comes together. So as you guys can see, relatively easy concept. I basically just drill a hole at one end of my craft stick, which allows me to stick a dowel down in it so that my wood piece does not move, at least from that point. And then I drill 3 other holes that are 2 inches apart, and I basically just screw in a screw so that it points out of the bottom a little bit, and then just turn that little wood piece until it creates a gouge. And then I move my screw to the next peg and do the same thing until all of my circles are complete. So now we are at the fun and easy part, especially after doing all that, right? And this is just the part where I grab a couple of different paints, all kind of beige and or brown tones, and I begin to paint my circles. Now I wanted the center of my table to be a lighter color, so I start with my lighter color and then I move out with my darker color. It's important to note that your paint does not have to be perfect in this point. We are going to come through and put a whole coat of Waverly across the top. I'm literally just doing this because it's part of what I wanted for my final design. So this part is optional, but I come through with one of those furniture markers from the Dollar Tree, and I just kind of reinforce the shape of my circles. So now I'm just going to throw a coat of watered down Waverly antique wax all over the top of this table. I'm also going to use that exact same stain to stain the bottom of my table as well as my legs front to back. Okay, so now we're just going to put our table together, and I'm going to just be using those paint stir sticks, and I basically just cut the top off so that I had a nice kind of clean line, if you will. And I basically start by laying down my paint stir sticks on those lines. If you remember the 4 quadrants that we separated out, I start putting a stick down on each one of those. Now, in order to reinforce this, I do use one of those pre-stained tumbling tower blocks right on the back of my stick. And I just feel like this gave it a little bit more reinforcement, because let's be real. Once I have the legs attached to the top, I just flip it over and do the exact same thing to our bottom piece. Okay, so it looks like I lost a little bit of footage from the beginning of this process, but after my paint had dried, I just took my table outside and I busted out a sander I had for years and never used. And I started to basically sand down the top of the table, basically taking some of that paint off and then just making the tabletop more smooth. Then after that, I hit the whole thing with several coats of that kind of clear enamel spray from Rust-Oleum. And she came out looking shiny and beautiful, and you guys are about to see her here in just a moment. Okay, so I think this is one of those times where my fancy experiment paid off. I love the way this table looks. It looks great styled on our porch, and she's actually really pretty sturdy, so I'm happy about the way this turned out. Make sure to comment if you guys love how this looks and if you were following me through my experimentation on this table. Also, let me know if you're enjoying these Table Tuesday videos and you're kind of getting inspired on stuff to do for yourself. As always, thanks so much for watching, you guys. We appreciate you. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't subscribed already, and just know that you can come back, hang out, and be okay with us.